Hey cats. Just getting myself going. How's everyone doing? Red's grabbing a snack. Hey kid, you grab me a snack as well, Red. If you're getting some potato chips, don't forget to bring some dip with it too. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some French onion dip actually. You know. So anybody else want some snacks? While Red is up grabbing some snacks. Man, after just, I guess it's been 2 or almost 3 weeks. I guess 3 weeks now since getting the quilter, and I've been really just really finding out what it can really do, even more so. Just been enjoying it so much. Like, you know, right now, like the way it's sounding, and I mean, let me know how it sounds on your end. But definitely through my headphones, and I've got it blasting through the AccuGroove. It just feels so good, so tight, and just so responsive. Really clean, you know, and that's actually that's on the modern setting, right there, which is the tightest, like the tightest low end setting. And that's with like all pickups on, but you can still get a really nice growl. Like a back pickup growl, it still has that even on the modern setting. And with the low B, sure, it helps that having a nice instrument like this, but with all my basses that I've been trying it out, the quilter with, I mean, it just has such beautiful consistency. So it's very inspiring to just play, which is really cool. Whoever's on here, how you doing? Welcome to week number 16 of the Bass with Benjamin live stream. And where I am right now, it's kind of cold, so I've just been trying to warm up for the past hour or so, and just getting myself caffeined up with some green tea as well. So I appreciate you all jumping on here, and this is the place where we can just be bass nerds or just music nerds. I mean, you don't even have to be a bass player to appreciate this. But if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask, please pop it down in the chat. And it doesn't always just have to be about gear, even though I love talking about gear. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you all know that. I mean, I even just talking about the quilter. But anything to do with bass playing, I mean, even and gigs and all that. Even, you know, if you're trying to maybe start a band or trying to figure out how do I ask this legendary musician if they can play a gig with me, you know, anything like that. I love to talk about and help out the community with any kind of advice of that, because this is coming from, you know, my experience in LA. I did all that kind of stuff, and being nervous to ask, I want to ask such and such to play on my gig, and it a lot of times it always worked out really well. So if you have anything about music, bass playing, please put it down in the chat. Hey Red, what snack did you grab? Did you get those chips for me, and did you get some dip as well? I'd love that if you got that. and the tone is inspiring and awesome. Well, I'm glad it sounds great on your end. That's always great to hear. I always try to make sure that you all are hearing the way that I'm hearing it. And sometimes that can be hard, even like on live gigs. And I think like what I'm hearing on stage and through my rig, it can be a bit of a challenge to get that coming through the, if you're playing in a bigger venue where your bass is going through the PA system, sometimes it's not going to be the same sound. The sound person is going to, dial it in the way they think it needs to be dialed in, and sometimes it's not always your sound that is captured. And it's probably another reason why I've always like kind of preferred playing like smaller, intimate venues, because a lot of times you don't need to have a lot of sound reinforcement. You can have it coming from the stage. But with that saying, I have experienced a lot of incredible sound engineers who knew how to capture the sound of the instrumentalists in the on stage or even in the studio. So yeah, what do we got here? Someone named Nick. Hey Nick, how you doing? He's a beginner bassist, and I'm tempted to buy a Nash PB57. When should I commit to a higher quality instrument? I currently only play at home. Hey, yeah, that's cool. And I know what you're talking about. The Nash, it's a P bass, like a 57 kind of like modeled after a 57 P bass. Nash, obviously. Very high quality instruments. I've only come across a few of them. Some of my buddies played Nash guitars. And I think that this is the thing. There's nothing wrong. Obviously, there's nothing wrong, when you can, or having a nice instrument, right? I think everybody should be able to have a nice instrument. Doesn't matter what level. I think you should have an instrument that is going to inspire you to play, that is going to feel good and is going to make you happy. And so if that means getting the Nash P bass, then and if you are able to do so, because I know, obviously, those instruments, they're not particularly cheap, but if it makes you want to play, want to like really like just dig in and just play, then by all means. But with that saying, you don't have to be happy. You don't have to have a super high quality instrument to just be happy. Yeah, you know what I mean? I've owned many instruments that have, over the years, that are, mid to like, lower quality, but I've been happy with them because I've been able to play the way that I wanted to play the music that I want to play. And also I have had some instruments over the years that have been higher quality, and I've been like, But I think if you've, I don't know if you've tried out this basses yet, Nick. And if you have, if it gave you that feeling of like, oh man, I want to do this. I want to play. This inspires me to like, okay, in 6 months, I want to go from being a beginner bassist to an intermediate bassist. All right. If it's going to help you to do that, and like, okay, if I have this bass, maybe it can inspire me from just playing at home to I'm going to go to an open jam session, or maybe I'm going to get together with some musicians and play, also with some friends. That could be a whole thing. And then it just takes off from there, you know, if you really want it to. So I'd say, why not? You know, if you're able to, do it, you know. But I would say, you know, if it makes you happy and this is something that you want to do, go for it, man. Do it. You'll have a nice instrument that will last you a long time. All right. What's Red having? Red is having Reese's Puffs, and also do I know the song Passcode by Bobby Lewis? I've been very inspired by that song. Bobby's fast playing in general. I don't know that song. I don't know. I don't think I even know any Bobby Lewis tunes. I should go check out Bobby. But obviously, I know Bobby, and we would always, you know, run into each other at the NAMM show over the years. And he would always have some new MTD bass, and he'd be like, "Yeah, man, check it out. Yeah, you know, this is a 5-string bass with a 6-string bass neck." It'd always be that kind of thing. So I should check it out. Hey, John X, how you doing, bro? Hope you're doing well. And Scar, you are. Hi, glad to hear you and be on the stream, man. Glad to have you here as well, and whoever's just jumping on, nice to see you. Again, did you got any questions? Pop it down in the chat. This is the place. And man, again, this reverb is just, you mix it with the TC electronic shaker or some sort of vibrato pedal. Ooh, you just. In the last few weeks, just been really enjoying the quilter, but also just really hearing my basses with just such a beautiful, like, clear, you know, amplifier, and just hearing it and just understand, helping me understand, like, my sound, you know, even more so, like really helping to refine that. And I'll tell you, I'm still using a flat EQ on the quilter. Like, I haven't turned anything as yet because I've been mainly using the voice switch on there from Modern, Warm, or Q-Tube. And even just going from the flat input to the scooped input. So, like, and I'm just being so satisfied with that. And yes, the reverb, man, I mean, for real. Like, it's just so beautiful for creating textures, you know? It's you would think, like, oh, you know, reverb on the bass, you know, is that just going to be like kind of overkill? But, like, I mean, obviously for chords, it's just so beautiful. And then just playing, you know, once you get, like, just dial in. You can make it, like, really saturated. such a beautiful, lush, like backing behind it, which I just absolutely love. And of course, and this TC electronic shaker vibrato pedal. It's just such a. I don't think they make them anymore. I remember someone was messaging me the other week, asking about it. I think they have the mini versions, but I have the older original one with 4 knobs. And I don't think they make them anymore. And I do use the app. There's an app, the Tone Print app, where it has presets and you can like beam it to the pedal, which is really cool. So I'll sometimes use that. But generally, I just had the pedal with a few different tweaks. And the reason I like this vibrato pedal is just because it almost gives, like, especially right now, this whole like lo-fi thing is very popular. And so it kind of gets in that vein, especially when I mix it with some of my other pedals, like the envelope, which you all know. So you can hear that wobble in there, which is just beautiful. And then you mix that with the reverb, and you get a really nice ambient sound. Now, please tell me if the sound is distorting on your end. I want to make sure that is not the case. I always want to make sure everyone is hearing things at a very, like, high quality, and it's not, being distorted, because I can obviously change the levels on my interface, but mic is lower, yeah, because I'm trying to have it a bit of a distance so that I'm not all the way up here, and then when I get excited, I just like clip the whole thing, which I'm known to do. And yeah, John, that is the envelope, reverb, and the, what is it? The vibrato. Yeah, those 3 pedals. So, and yeah, that I was just listening to that song the other day as well. Message for Austin, by Stephen Thundercat Bruner. When I heard that song, obviously when it first came out, and it was after Austin had passed away, which was very tragic. But it's just such a beautiful chord progression, really nice. And I was just kind of playing around with it the other day as well. But yeah, beautiful tune. So yeah, and for those of you who don't know, this is Austin Peralta, an incredible prodigy piano player, very young, really young cat, and he was originally from LA, played with so many people, played he was one of those. I remember he was one of those cats who would just play on any gig because he just wanted to play. He wanted to play music. He wanted to play with as many people as possible. And he came up in that whole West Coast get down, the Kamasi Washington, Thundercats kind of scene. But he would be playing it with, like little jazz gigs at cocktail bars, and then he'll play on Virgil Donati's gig at the Baked Potato, and then he would also play with Alan Holdsworth as well. And then also with like the cinematic orchestra. So yeah. But definitely, those first two albums of Thundercats, I definitely the first one I checked out a lot when it had come out, which is probably almost 15 years ago now. And definitely a lot of really cool, quirky tunes on there, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I did not get to meet him. I saw him play a number of times, but I didn't get to really, really meet him and play with him, unfortunately. But a lot of people that he played with, a lot of his close friends and all that, I've played with many times, a lot. And I did play for at his memorial as well. There was a memorial show of his at the Blue Whale, and you can actually see some of those videos on YouTube. I played with Virgil Donati there, and this was also the first time I got to play with Billy Childs as well. So that was at Austin's memorial. Yeah, what was that tune? Yeah. Really cool. But I played a lot with Thundercats' dad, Ronald Bruner Sr. I played quite a bit with Junior as well, but I played the most with Senior, who is a phenomenal drummer. I could see where his kids, well, from both parents, Ronald and Ronald's wife, Bruna Mama, as she goes by. I could see where the kids really get their musical talents from. But I played a lot with Senior in his project called Strange Jazz Universe, which was always really fun to play, and I loved playing with Ron Senior, who's an incredible musician. I didn't play with Jamil, but he would come and hang out at some of the Strange Jazz Universe gigs. He would be there, but yeah, Nick Granville, what's up, bro? How you doing? Maybe it's time to stop punking you. Oh man, it's the only way. All right, I've got my pick, man. I've got my pick. Because sometimes I jump on Nick's whenever he does a live stream or whatever, and I just start trolling him. So this is just payback, Now Nick is a guitar player, so maybe we could, he's not a bass player, so we can give him, give him a hard time. Oh man. Nice. And you built your pedal board on the Thundercat sounds. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Yeah, he's definitely been a very influential bassist, of our generation for a lot of people. So it's great that this is someone who's using the 6-string bass and in a soloistic way in a lot of mainstream music. So I definitely appreciate that a lot. Can you play the Tower College school anthem? I don't think they even had a school anthem. I don't think they did. I mean, what about Nick? Can you play didn't you go to Nine College? Did they have a school anthem? If there was a Tower College school anthem, then maybe, in that style. Oh, so yesterday was Stevie Wonder's birthday, right? So 75 years old, incredible and still going strong, Give the bass some more. So yeah, I'll tell you my Stevie Wonder story. And some of you probably seen that picture of me and Stevie Wonder, playing on stage. It's and that's from I was playing a gig with Ellis Hall, and who's a incredible, just one of my favorite musicians ever. And he's also blind, visually impaired, and he also used to be the lead singer in Tower of Power back in the 80s, and he's Ray Charles's protege too. He was one of the first artists to be signed to Ray's record label. But anyway, I was playing. So I've played a lot of gigs with Ellis Hall over the years, and we were playing a benefit gig for a blind fundraising organization. And Stevie was also there, and so Stevie came. We're playing like 2 sets of music, and so Stevie came up. Ellis called him up, and these two, these guys, they've known each other for years. They're good buddies. He called Stevie up, and there's another keyboard on stage as well. So he came up and, played like a whole, set of music with us. We just played Stevie hits. So, of course, we played, of course, and we also played, what else? We did. We did so many hits, man. And of course, the bucket list tune. Do I do? Do I do? So that was so much fun, and it was also hilarious too. You know, these two, like Ellis and Stevie, they were just being like so hilarious, you know, like so just joking around like on stage and all that. And when Stevie came and sat on this he sat at this keyboard, it was like a Yamaha keyboard or something, and when he was just like trying to find the sound that he wanted to use, he's literally going through every sound going it just took like 2 minutes just literally doing that until he found the sound that he wanted. It was just such an enjoyable experience, and I'm just like, okay, bucket list item. Got to play Stevie Wonder tunes with Stevie Wonder, and an incredible band. So absolutely loved it. And yeah, you're right, John. There's just so many hits. Just, you know, if you go to, I've never been to a Stevie Wonder concert, but a lot of people I know, if you ask anyone who's gone to a Stevie Wonder concert, it's just hit after hit. It's crazy. Just so many hits. I assume it would probably be the same thing if you were to go to like a Burt Bacharach concert, you know, or Ashford and Simpson concert. You know, even a Babyface concert. You know, we saw that Babyface Tiny Desk, and we're just, I remember my wife and I were watching it, and we're just like, what? He wrote that as well? What? Insane. It's crazy. So it's just so much good music out there. And yeah, Hotter Than a Summer July is incredible. One of the greatest albums. Yeah. Oh yeah. What's what are your favorite Stevie Wonder tunes? You know, put it down in the comments. I'd like to know. Obviously, my one's Do I Do. I definitely love playing Signed, Sealed, Delivered. But Summer Soft is an incredible one that I just love. With all the modulations, has beautiful changes. Creepin' is another one. I love playing that. Contusion is another incredible, just an instrumental tune, it's just a fusion tune, and especially it's so like of that era too, because this is like mid to late 70s as well, and so of course it's like you can hear like the Return to Forever or like the Al Di Meola kind of vibe, and I guess, you know, being written by his guitar player at the time, Michael Sembello, who apparently also wrote Footloose. So yeah, Contusion, man. And the line on that... let me do it slow. It's like trying to play God a Match. I mean, that's a crazy line. I mean, I used to be able to really just burn it. Yeah. See, I can't even play. It's been so long. All right, one more time. It's incredible tune, incredible tune. Really fun one to play. I used to play it with a bunch of musicians, and we would just burn it, man. Really burn it. So yeah, again, happy birthday, Stevie. 75 years, going strong. And so we got Nick loves playing I Wish and Sir Duke. I know you love playing those ones, man. Yeah, Contusion. John Axe was saying he loves which one? I saw it there. Never in Your Sun. I don't think I know that one, do I? I don't think so. I get see. This is the thing. He just has like so many like tunes, so many B-sides, where it's just like incredible. Same thing with Prince as well. Yeah. But you know, there have been other instances. You know, speaking of, you know, getting to play artists' tunes with the artist. You know, so obviously with Stevie getting to play his tunes with him. I've also had the honor of being able to play Forget Me Nots with Patrice Rushen, because sometimes she would be playing. She would also play keys on Lee Ritenour's gig, so she would be playing with us on some of the shows. And so, of course, you know, when you've got Patrice on the show, you gotta do Forget Me Nots, you know. Exactly, baby fingers, and she does, like, I mean, it's incredible. Like, her musicianship is just so inspiring. It really is. Oh man, come on, you got to get into the. You could hear my wife in the back in the other room going, "What? Come on, Red. Come on, Red. You got to get with it, man." MJ, Prince, Stevie. All right, I'm gonna give you an assignment. All right, but yeah, by next week's live stream, I want you to have checked out the whole catalog. All right. You know, I'm trying to keep myself cool, you know. But do it again, all right? Whatever you listen to, you didn't do it properly, all right? You need to go listen morning, noon, night to the whole catalog of MJ, Prince, and Stevie, all right? Do it. But yeah, what I was saying, yeah, getting to play. Hey, come on, John Axe. You know, that beef between Prince and MJ or whatever, it has nothing to do with you, man. Just get into the music and call it a day. All right? You know, and Prince's bass playing is heavily influenced by Larry Graham. You know, Prince was an incredible bassist as well. And one of my favorite Prince bass lines is actually on, you know, Morris Day in the Times, you know, 777-9311. I mean, exactly, Nick. You know, Prince has had. This is the thing. It's like I'm interested in the music of it. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. same with with MJ. Um, so that's the thing. It's like whatever beef and drama and all that. It's just like I'm not interested. Um, and that's and I totally understand, John. If you didn't listen to it, growing up, I definitely listened to more MJ, Michael Jackson growing up. Prince came a little later on, and and that's the thing. It's like it's never too late to discover things. Like it's the same thing with Steely Dan for me. I only kind of got more interested in Steely Dan in my 20s, and the reason is because I had to learn some Steely Dan tunes for gigs, right? But I wasn't one of those cats who are like, just absolutely intensely listening to Steely Dan, like Asia, growing up. For me, that was Weather Report and, like Stanley Clarke and all that, Return to Forever. That's what I was listening to intensely. And also, and Pink Floyd. All right. That was the thing. And yes, I did grow up on Michael Jackson's music because I admired I admired him as an artist, like a dancer and a singer. Just because obviously he's doing something really special. Oh, whoa, I can see like a hot air balloon outside my window here. That's so cool. I saw that one the other day. But, Prince, I got more into later on. My dad was definitely into Prince because, my dad plays guitar and he always was into Prince's guitar playing. But, it was only later on I really understood, Prince as a musician, as a producer. And he wrote a lot of tunes for a lot of people as well. It's sure, he has his quirky thing, but a lot of my friends, musicians, have played with Prince. I remember my buddy Dominic Xavier Taplin, who we've played so many gigs, and just I remember when he was one of the last. He might have been the last keyboard player to play with Prince, and he got asked to play with Prince through the recommendation of Andrew Goucher, a great bassist, because Andrew was playing with Prince at the time, and then from then, it was when Mono Neon came on, started playing, and people like. I think Teron Lockett, great drummer. But yeah, and they have their stories, of course, which I will not be saying here, but it was such a great learning experience musically. It helped shape them musically. Obviously, the way that we're seeing, Mono Neon, especially with like the whammy. That thing, and even his just style of writing is definitely very heavily influenced by Prince. His little short time with Prince, but it was a big deal. Yeah, exactly, Nick. Yeah, no, Dominic played. I remember when he got that call. It was incredible, and he's like perfect for that, kind of gig. So yeah. And so what's this gig you're playing tonight, Nick? You got 10 chases to get lay on the Sports Awards tonight, and Dan's written 6 Prince tunes for it. Oh, nice. That's cool, man. The good old Wellington Sports Awards. So you better put on your sports jacket, man. You should totally turn up to the gig, with an Auckland Blues jersey on, that will annoy the Wellington Hurricanes supporters. And yeah, and this is the same thing, with Steely Dan. when I started kind of understanding more of their history and the people who played with them and just their process, I was just like, oh wow, okay, I could see how this was a big deal. You know what I mean? And of course, they had quite a lot of hits as well. And pretty much the Dr. Band, being Peter, the band that I was playing in, Peter Erskine, John Beasley, and Bob Shepard, the Dr. Band minus me, they used to be in Steely Dan. They used to tour with Steely Dan in the early 90s. So, Peter was the drummer, John Beasley was playing keyboards, and I think at one time he was even the musical director. And of course, Bob Shepard playing saxophone, and it was an incredible saxophone section. I know it was him and Chris Potter, and I'm trying to remember the third guy. They had like 3 saxophone players. It was just 3 sax players. It was you can see in the videos. But yeah, I mean, that's also just like incredible musicians, of course. Chuck Rainey playing bass on those classic early records. Huge deal. Peg, of course. Like I had to learn all those songs for gigs, and that's just part of the repertoire of playing cover gigs. It's the same thing with like learning Stevie Wonder tunes, Earth, Wind and Fire tunes, or playing Boogie Oogie Oogie by Taste of Honey. So cool, man. Hey, it sounds like a fun gig that you got happening, Nick. So say hi to all those cats in the bands. Orchestra and a choir. What kind of gig is this, man? For a sports awards? What? That's a huge. I'm just like, man, insane. What's Red saying? Part of wants to not listen to the old stuff so I can become more of a product of the newer influences. Look, Red, if you want to become a product of the newer influences, you got to understand where the newer influences came from. All right, okay? And it's this is the thing. It's like it all comes from somewhere. Just like being a jazz musician. Obviously, we're studying the greats. We're studying the great albums, the great innovators of how this music has come to this point. And we can see the lineage of how it's been passed down. Obviously, you look at trumpet players, if you want to go from like Louis Armstrong to, like Clifford Brown and Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, Freddie Hubbard, and Wynton Marsalis. I know I'm missing a bunch of people. Roy Hargrove, Nicholas Payton. You're going to Christian Scott, Keon Harold, Marquise Hill. There's a whole thing, but we always want to, never not. We don't want to ignore the history of why things are the way it is now. And especially for bass playing, if we trace it back to in the early 1950s, Monk Montgomery, who was the brother of Wes Montgomery, being one of the first electric bass players and the first electric bassist to use the bass guitar on a jazz recording in 1951. It's a Art Farmer. The Art Farmer, okay, I'm going to have to... Art Farmer, I think it's... was it the Sextet? It was produced by... It was the arrangements are by Quincy Jones. That's the thing. It's from 1951. If you want to listen to what a bass guitar sounded like in 1951, yeah, check out the Art Farmer Septet. Okay, it's 1953. All right, still, like, what? Have a listen to that. Is Monk Montgomery. So what I'm saying is, you're going from Monk Montgomery, you're going through to other bassists. Obviously, we got James Jamerson, we got the Carol Kays, we've got the Duck Dunns, we've got the Chuck Raineys. We've got, and obviously, you get into people like Paul McCartney. You got, you know what I mean? And then it gets you to the 70s of like, okay, we have, and then, we've got Larry Graham, and then we're getting into, obviously starting to get into the virtuoso cats of like Stanley Clarke and Alphonso Johnson, Bootsy Collins, Jocko, you know what I mean? And then that goes into the 80s of like, okay, then you're getting Marcus Miller, you're getting Will Lee, you're getting John Patitucci, you're getting Bunny Brunel, you got Jeff Berlin, Jeff Andrews, and then that passes on to Victor Wooten, Steve Bailey, you know what I mean? Like James Genus. Also, obviously, I'll go back to the 70s and say Anthony Jackson, of course. You can't miss out him. But you know what I mean? Like, you could see how it's all just like progressing, Gary Willis, Lincoln Goines, Matthew Garrison, of course, who was a huge influence on, this, I can do a good fake part of it. That kind of technique. But what I'm saying is that if you really want to understand how this newer generation of music and influences are, you can't ignore the past. You really can't. And what, the innovators, what the legends, what these people who have laid down the groundwork, what they have done, and what they even sacrificed as well for us to be able to play the way that we do. So and also, like, why would you want to, miss out on a whole bunch of great music? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's just great music. It doesn't mean that just because you're listening to old school stuff that you're going to like not understand how the newer stuff works, or that you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm not part of the new generation, I'm just like an old cat. Like, who cares about that? Just listen to music for what it is, no matter what era or generation it's from. Great music is great music. That's the thing. Anyway, rant over. I think it's really great, Red, that you're definitely concerned about that. But that's just my words of wisdom. I'm going to play something. I've kind of done a lot of talking. I'm going to try and like just totally throw myself in the deep end here with a Billy Childs tune, because it's always fun to do that. And, I might get lost on this because this tune is quite... It's just like, what is going on? It's got all kinds of just changing odd meters and sections. It goes from like 4/4, then 7/4, and then there's a bar of 9/8, and then 6/4, and then back to 9/8, and then there's all these like very extreme syncopated kind of hits going on. So, and yeah, Red, you'll find the a lot of music from the past, obviously very interesting as well. So I think you'll enjoy that. Anyway, this is a Billy Childs tune. This is called Dance of Shiva. And so we'll see if I get lost. I think it'll be pretty obvious. But anyway, you'll get to see it in real time. Let's have a go. Thanks, everybody. This has been really great, just connecting with you all and having these discussions. This is what I absolutely love. So here we go. Dance of Shiva. So that's essentially just that da da da. That's two measures of 4 and one measure of 3. That's how that phrase is. It's a 3-bar phrase. All right, and so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba 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 da 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 ba da da da. Like, that is, insane. So that piece is called Dance of Shiva, and that's by Billy Childs. And so that recording that I was playing along to, oh yeah, the drummer absolutely loved that one. So that recording that I was playing to, that's from one of Billy's albums, and that was Steve Wilson on saxophone. That's Eric Harland on drums. So of course that's why it's like, insane, with Eric playing. And then the bassist is an upright bass cat named Hans Glavishnig, so if you listen to that recording, and you'll be like, whoa, insane. But I've played this tune many times with Billy over the years. It's just fun to pull it out. I might play something a little more. I'm going to finish with something that is definitely something for me to kind of just open up a little more on. So this will be the last tune today, and then I guess, because it's time to kind of wrap it up, I'm gonna have one more sip of my green tea. Mark Wright in the house. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. Doing the dance. I'm trying to, man. Especially these odd time signatures, So this tune here, I'm going to play another tune that I played so many times for a good saxophone playing buddy of mine named Danny Janklow. And this is a tune that we did in his band called the Elevation Band. And I recorded this one on his first record called Elevation. And so this one's called Gemini Vibe. And so this version here is from the album, and this one has Jonathan Pinson on drums, Sam Bosch on keys, Danny on saxophone, and Nick Mancini on the vibraphone. So something that is just in 4, and not so syncopated. So here we go. Enjoy. All right, here we go. Sure it plays properly. Sorry, it didn't have the volume up. Here we go, on my bass. So I played the first note and nothing happened. Let's try it again. All right, folks. Oh man, I love that tune as well. We had so many fun times just playing that tune, and we would just like go off. We would just go off on that one. Just real, like, just getting real, just opening up with it. A lot of that. That's just the kind of short version because obviously it's on an album. But anyway, cats, this has been so great. This has been really wonderful to just connect with all of you. And thank you so much for tuning in. Some great discussions as well about, music and this is just what I just love doing every week with all of you, just hanging out with you. And I really appreciate you all doing the same thing here with me. It's you really help make this such an enjoyable, just an enjoyable occasion, and it's just always great to connect with you all. And so anything I can do to help you with your musical bass playing journey, feel free to reach out to me, either on social media, or you can contact me through my website, which is basswithbenjamin.com. And of course, there's my resources that I have there, bass courses, as well as my one-on-one coaching program. If you really want to just sit down with me and have me help you with your thing. All right. And yeah, again, thank you so much. I hope wherever you are in the world, you have a wonderful rest of your week. Be safe out there. And just take care, and I'll see you next time. All right. This has been great, everybody. I really appreciate you. Great to see you all. Really is. And for those of you who I told to go listen to the music again, go do it. Do it. Open yourself up to just great music. Don't worry what era it's from. All right. Don't worry about the beef or whatever. Appreciate the artistry and the music. All right. And that will really help influence you and help you expand as a musician and an artist. Okay. Take care, everybody. All right. You're awesome. See you next time. Let's see. Yeah, that's real cheesy. All right, bye everyone.